Top 3 moments of Game 3, Mets-Phillies. Number 3 moment, I went with that 6th inning double play to get Sean Manaea out of a jam.
I think it's number 1.
You think it's number 1? Okay.
I do. I really think that's number 1. To get out of that inning with one pitch, on one pitch right there, that was a tough pill to swallow in that Phillies dugout, I'm sure.
Number 2 moment, Pete Alonso home run.
We said over and over, best baseball ahead of us. He's going to the opposite field, and that is Pete's, I'm back, I'm not going to say it, swing. That's his stroke. You love to see it. And now, 6 career home runs against Nola, including the postseason. So it's just a bad matchup for Nola.
My number 1 moment, Jesse Winker hits that absolute tank shot.
You knew that Winker was seeing Nola well, and that was a curveball that he hit that pitch on. And then the home run was on a curveball also.
Welcome to Meet at the Apple. The Mets just took Game 3 up 2-1 against Philly at home in Citi Field.
What's that guy doing back there?
Hunter just popped up behind the set. Come on in, Hunter. Come on in. That wasn't planned. Hunter, go back there.
What's
go
up,
back
brother?
there. Go on the mic. Go on the mic. Go on the mic. Tell us how you feel.
Getting the first words here, Hunter. This is a big deal.
What a win for the boys.
Wow, what a win.
That's one way of putting it, right? Speaking of one win away.
1 win away.
From the National League Championship Series. I mean, you know what? I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Said it after the Mets took 3 or 4 from Philly. No one wants the Mets. Said it after the Mets beat the Brewers. Phillies did not want to see the Mets win that series.
No.
Now, we got 9 innings of winning baseball left to play here, and we're going to break down what happened here right behind us tonight. This place was wilding out about an hour ago.
Do you guys like the new set, by the way? This is a new spot we're in. Our other room is being used for, look, playoff baseball, when you work at a ballpark, is crazy. Every single inch of this stadium is getting used. If you're walking in the tunnels, there's curtains up everywhere because they've turned it into like pseudo photo offices. It's absolutely crazy to be here for the playoffs. It's nice to be working baseball games when it is cold out. It is amazing.
It wasn't that cold today. I thought it'd be colder.
It was. You were inside.
I'm schwitzing right now, I'll tell you that.
It's hot in here, but you were inside for the game. But I just, John is usually Johnny Stats, John the Stat Man, the calculator. But I have an important stat to read right here for the human calculator.
Let's hear it.
The Mets are 4-0 in games where Grimace appears.
That's the big stat, right?
And guess what? He left us a gift. He texted me. He said, I left something on your desk before I left.
Wait. Grimace texted you.
Grimace texts.
Grimace doesn't have thumbs.
He just knows how to text, dude.
And he was somehow holding a pumpkin in his hands when I saw him today.
He was holding a pumpkin.
And a rally towel in the... This man was juggling props.
He was on the train today. He left us this sign. He said, thanks for the invite from Grimace. Thank you, Grimace. We love you.
So how about this? I don't know who took that organic video. I think that was at Roosevelt Jackson Ave.
Oh, God, that video's incredible.
Whoever shot that moment, that was organic, by the way. Like, Grimace was on the 7 train, and Mets fans were all over the place, all over the city. City was buzzing with Mets baseball hype. You guys turned out, 5 o'clock game, no one wanted it, but we just dealt with it. We dealt with the cards we were dealt.
I liked it. It felt like opening day. No, I know a night game's nice, but dude, it felt
I'm
like...
stomping my feet now.
I know you are, but it felt like, there was like, I love opening day. There's nothing I like more than opening day. It's the sun's out, you're watching baseball, and like there was something about being down on the field for player introductions and the amazing show that, the Mets put on today with the light, with the flame towers and everything. And being on the field, watching that happen, it was really fun, and it reminded me of the excitement of opening day, because this is the opening day for our home playoff games.
So what was cool about it, what I'll say is, it was a little bit of both, right? The game starts, the sun is still up, and then you get that nice sunset, and then as the game crescendos, you get into the darkness, and obviously this place really turned up in the later innings. The Mets, a couple of home runs with the sun still out. Sean Manaea, huge moment. We'll talk about that as the sun is like halfway, and then later on the Mets tack on, pour on, really put the game away, and then it had the night game feel. So it was kind of the best of both worlds, I guess. But
the pitching change was right when it went dark.
We did get those moments that we've been craving. And boy, I mean, I know we've been talking about this, like, we need October baseball at Citi Field. This is going to be so lit. Oh, I think we can all agree. It was everything we've dreamt of and more. But
you know what? I know it's weird to do this because usually we would talk about biggest moments from the game, but let's just talk about the top 3 crowd moments. So the top 3 moments from the crowd at Citi Field for this first playoff game at Citi Field since 2022, the first NLDS game since 2015. Number 3 moment, the Sean Manaea chants as Sean Manaea stepped off the mound for what people thought was going to be his last inning.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be done after 7 as well, but like his last start against Philly here at Citi Field on September 21st, he was not. He went back out there, pitched into the 8th inning. Once again, Sean was dominant, the 8th pitcher in Mets history to throw at least 7 scoreless innings in a postseason game. He joined some incredible company. Noah Syndergaard was the last one to do that. Did so back in 2016, the National League wildcard game. But Sean was dominant, especially with 2 pitches. And this is a Philly lineup. We know they got the big lefties. They've got Harper, they've got Schwarber. Stott didn't play because he doesn't really fare too well against left-handed hitters. But even with kind of a stacked righty lineup for the Phillies, for Rob Thompson, 7 whiffs on 13 swings against the sweeper. We know the sweeper is a big weapon. And the changeup, which we haven't really seen be a big whiff pitch for Sean, 7 over 15 whiffs over swings against. So Sean kind of implementing a new weapon, and it's not like he needs one. He's been one of the best pitchers in the National League since late July, and he was the ace on Tuesday. He was that guy. So shout out to Sean Manaea, him walking off the mound, and we obviously heard the tough news that Sean's aunt passed away. So when he was pointing up to the sky as he was walking off to the big ovation he received, very deserving ovation. Of course, Sean was pitching with a heavy heart, so condolences to the Manaea family. But boy, oh boy, Sean Manaea, you are that guy.
It was incredible. You got to throw up your ones, acknowledge your tribal chief. Did you see the tweet?
No, I have not really been on Twitter.
That was Vito's idea.
The Mets. I did. It was my idea. I texted Hunter after the 7th inning. I said, "Yo, tweet, acknowledge him with the finger up." I just said, "Trust me," for your ones in the sky for the tribal chief. And
there was some debate in the office last week as to whether this was going to work out well.
And it popped off. Hunter, would you say, as the social media coordinator, would you say that it popped off?
Yeah. I'm reading the stats right now on the post itself. 9.2 thousand likes and 275,000 impressions. So that's good. That's good for just a picture of Sean walking off the mound.
You wrestling people are quite a crowd.
No,
he's talking about me.
But like so the people that make this a thing is what I'm talking about.
I just know that the Mets audience is a wrestling audience.
That's what I'm saying. Like when LA Knight was here, I was like, ooh, what? And then next thing I knew,
New York is one of the top wrestling markets in the country. So it's just, I get it. I like wrestling.
Why not college football? No one cares about college football here.
We don't have a college football team.
Yeah. Rutgers. We are going to go.
Hunter, don't you dare. Mendez.
All right.
Listen, I just want to say about Sean Manaea one last thing.
Yeah.
I love the way that this fan base has really embraced him over the season. It sort of culminated tonight, and we saw that with the Sean Manaea.
Oh, nothing culminated.
He ain't done.
Excuse me. It all sort of came to a real forefront tonight with the whole stadium chanting his name as he's mowing down the Phillies. I just think it's awesome the way that the fan base has embraced him, how he's embraced the fan base. I just think it's really cool that we get to watch that on
the first time we met him back in spring training, we walked away. We were just like, this guy is the man.
He makes you feel like his best friend. We walked away and we were like, I think we're best friends with Sean Manaea. I think he's like our brother now, basically.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is a culmination. I do agree with you that it was a celebration of Sean Manaea tonight. A coronation and a celebration of all that he's done to continue once again to be that ace for this Mets team, really step up when the Mets didn't really have one.
Yeah.
You love that. You love that.
A coronation of our tribal chief. All right. Number 2. Crowd bringing back the Jose. Mets fans our age will remember doing that for Jose Reyes. We got a new Jose here. And that just brought back such nostalgia for me, and seeing how loud the crowd got every time. And not to take away from that moment and throw in another Jose Iglesias thing, but did you hear and see every time Jose came up to the plate on the oh my God, every time the crowd doing the...
I was running around a lot tonight, so I did not catch that.
Oh, dude, it was magical.
But maybe we'll do OMG camp tomorrow night.
You should.
Maybe we will.
Because, dude, it was oh my God.
And then a sea of OMGs.
And then on the final one, on the oh my, and then you really saw people throwing it up every single time he stepped up to the plate.
It really happened when there was a pitching change. And they started playing it, they stopped it, new pitcher comes in, they did the light show, and they came back to it and they blasted OMG. That's when I noticed it the most. But on the Jose chants, I was like, dude, this is like taking me back to...
How old were you when Jose Reyes was playing at Citi Field? Or Shea?
5, 6, 7, 8 years. I mean...
Oh, it's taking you a while. You have fond memories.
I mean, but seriously,
remember the inside the Parker he hit against Brad Penny in September of 06?
All right, just because...
This is why
I'm an old man.
This is why people say we bully Hunter, because of stuff like that.
No, but taking me back to like the formidable years of like me like just becoming in love with this team was just a really, really cool moment. And I got to think a lot of people between my age and your guys' age, that sort of 10-year age.
It's not that big of a gap, buddy.
Whatever, buddy.
How old are you?
23.
All right. I mean, I'm 10 years older than him. That's a whole
I'm
decade.
31.
So between
So you're 80. You're 80.
the Mets fans within
whatever,
our
8, 9.
age group that sort of grew up with that, I just think is really cool that we brought that back tonight.
Yeah, Jose Reyes is me and John. That's us. That's our most boomer player that will act like where we're like, oh, you like we'll say to kids, you don't know what it was like to watch Jose Reyes run the bases. That's a thing people our age say.
Well, this now makes me think that if we're bringing back things from the Jose Reyes era,
I know you want
maybe a segment during a game where someone teaches fans how to say different words in different languages.
We'll see. Hey, I mean, if the early 2000s are back here, we got Kevin James doing rally cams. We got the network scene, but we're getting all over the place. Let's move on. Number one crowd moment from Game 3. Started the game off bottom of the first inning. Francisco Lindor. Well, actually, I think it was cool. It was a barrage of stuff. First, you have Seymour Wiener pop up on the screen. Crowd goes crazy. Then Grimace pops out of the tunnels with a rally pumpkin and a towel. Crowd goes absolutely nuts. And then Francisco Lindor goes up to the plate, and the entire stadium sings My Girl, which we've been waiting for just ever since you started hearing peaks of it.
So you know what I noticed about Francisco and his at-bats? So I've noticed that no one really takes their time out as much as Francisco. Like, a batter gets a timeout every plate appearance. And at Citi Field, he does it literally every plate appearance when he steps in. And I figured out why. Because if he doesn't step out, then the song ends. Mm-hmm. He lets us all enjoy that moment. That was an awesome moment.
It's because he cares.
He cares, and he gets it. He is a showman who gets it, and he is my MVP.
He is our MVP, man.
This was the first time he's played at Citi Field in a really long time.
And let me add in the
exactly
MVP chance out of My Girl since September 8th. Yeah, September 8th was the last time he played a game at Citi Field. But the My Girl into the MVP chance. I mean, this crowd, to think where we've come since 2021, where fans were all, I mean, like even the beginning of this season when fans were being a little rough on Francisco Lindor. Now we've really embraced him, and the fan base has really fallen in love with him, and it's a lot more fun when you root for your players, guys. I think that's something we've learned this year. It's a lot more fun when you cheer your players on. All right, I think perfect time to move on to top 3 moments on the field. So, top 3 moments of Game 3, Mets-Phillies. Number 3 moment, I went with that 6th inning double play to get Sean Manaea out of a jam.
I think it's number 1.
You think it's number 1? Okay.
I do. I really think that's number 1. If you look at WPA chart for tonight, that was the biggest swing in this game. That had a 12.2% WPA added. The top of the 6th inning, I didn't say this out loud in the control room, but I saw who was coming up for the Phillies. It was 1, 2, 3. In Game 2, the Mets struggled navigating the top of the Philly lineup. They did damage. The Mets lost the game. The Mets were up 2-0 at this point still, and you knew, or I thought to myself, if they can get through this inning without allowing any runs, then they have 4, 5, 6, then they have 7, 8, 9. If you could possibly add a couple insurance runs, you're in a good spot to win the game. Sean walks the first 2, then he strikes out Harper. That's massive, but then you got the left-right against Nick Castellanos. And Castellanos has been swinging a hot bat. Make the jokes. I know he had that moment in Philly where he said these people under his breath.
He didn't say. He said something else.
And, there's a lot of swing and miss in his game, and he's often swinging at the first pitch, highest first pitch swing rate in all of baseball. So he's got warts, don't get me wrong. But he's been wearing out the Mets. And I'm sick of Nick Castellanos wearing out the Mets.
Yeah.
And he hit that ball hard. But he got an incredible double play combo up the middle. And to get out of that inning with one pitch, on one pitch right there, that was a tough pill to swallow in that Phillies dugout, I'm sure. So for me, when you talk about really the X's and O's and giving yourself a chance of winning the game, yes, the Mets had a couple home runs. They were both solo shots, though. That play, turning to Lindor, getting to the base before I think it was Trey Turner. No, Schwarber. It was Schwarber, yeah, because he walked Schwarber and Turner to start the inning. For him to beat Schwarber to the bag and receive the flip from Iglesias, that could be one of the biggest plays that we talk about when this postseason is over, because that was the pivotal turning point of that game. What a moment.
Yeah.
Wow, what a story.
Did I convince you?
No, man, because
Damn.
my number one moment.
You're with me, Hunter.
I agreed with you beforehand. But
It doesn't have the flair and the dramatics. I get it, of a home run. Oh, my. But it was still an OMG moment.
It was a gigantic moment. I gave it number 3. I think that's more than fair of a moment to give that.
It's number 1.
My
Drop in the
number 1.
comments.
My number
Well,
1.
number 2.
Well, my number 2. Okay, so I'll do my number 2 and then we'll go to my number 1.
By the way, this is good radio. I'm not agreeing with you.
I know you can't. That's what other people
I feel like
do.
we do
don't
a lot. I feel like we do a lot.
Well, because we both love the Mets. And
I'm
that's,
feeling ornery right now. I haven't slept in days.
Okay, well, number 2 moment, Pete Alonso home run. Really get things going, dude. I was just getting back to my seats because we had just set Grimace up downstairs. So I'm running upstairs. I meet my wife. I get a burrito bowl because I was like, I need something sustenance today.
That is a great combo. Meeting your wife and getting a burrito bowl.
Grabbing Grimace, meeting my wife,
Where'd you
getting
meet?
a burrito bowl. Actually, I called her. She had just walked in right at the World's Fair Market right there.
That's maybe why. Maybe we named the podcast that next year.
World's Fair
Market next year.
So run upstairs, and as I get upstairs, Pete Alonso, I hear his music, and I'm like, oh, sick. And
No,
then-
whoa. Time out.
Song change.
Time out.
Oh, big song change.
Bye, Miss American Pie. No, I'm not going to stop.
No, it's going to get taken down.
Pardon my hubby.
It's going to get taken down. It's going to get taken down.
No, it's not.
Yes, it will. Ask Hunter. He will literally.
it's not.
It will.
How? How are they finding that? How many videos go up on YouTube daily?
Hey, tell
AI,
Will to
dude.
charge him.
AI.
Tell Will to
charge
charge
me.
him. Tell Will to charge him.
We'll charge
What's Allen Iverson got to do with this?
What's the next?
But no, so I hear a crack in the bat. I hear the crowd start to go, oh! I run over to the ledge. I look over.
Do it again.
I see the ball go over the wall. Fireworks go off. Johnny Pyro just finally gets his wish of home run pyro.
Yo,
and
it got smoky out there.
It did.
Got smoky.
It did. And
I hope Johan Rojas liked it. He was standing out there.
Pete Alonso, I mean, he needed that, man. Like, Mets fans have
Well,
got.
he's back.
I mean, it's what the show predicted.
Fullback. We said over and over, best baseball ahead of us.
Let me ask you, what would you rather? Would you rather your New York power hitter dominate all season?
I'm not going there.
No, I'm not just asking you a question.
He's going to have a 3-homer game tomorrow
I'm just
night.
asking you a question. What would you rather?
I just think that you shouldn't even go
I'm
there.
not. I didn't say it yet. I'm just asking you a question. You could finish the thought. What would you rather? I would rather this. But that's just me.
Pete Alonso had a good regular season, by the way.
I didn't say you had a bad one.
34 homers.
I'm not saying you had a bad one. I'm just saying, like, what would you rather? Would you rather, close to 16 home runs?
I'm just not surprised. And I love the fact that, like the homer on Sunday in Philly, like the homer on Thursday in Milwaukee, he's going to the opposite field. And that is Pete's, I'm back, I'm not going to say it, swing. That's his stroke. You'll love to see it. And now, 6 career home runs against Aaron Nola, including the postseason. So it's just a bad matchup for Nola. And, pull back.
You know what I love about this game?
Heard it here first.
This wasn't a game where Aaron Nola had his worst stuff. Aaron Nola had some of his best stuff. Aaron Nola was dicing up the Mets, but they still found a way to beat him, which that says a lot. Like, you can beat this, and I texted you during the game. I don't know if you agreed with me, but I said to you, Aaron Nola's having basically the same start Sean Manaea had against the Phillies a few weeks ago.
Minus two pitches.
No, but that was the same. Do you not remember?
Oh, yeah. He allowed the leadoff home
2 home
run
runs,
and then Castellanos.
2 home runs, 3 hits.
And that was pretty much it.
And that was and that's like what we were seeing out of Aaron Nola today. And Aaron Nola was not getting run out of this game for a while. I was sitting in a spot where I could see right into the bullpen, and I kept looking down there, and I was like, there is nobody getting up right now. So you have to give credit to a team that can beat a guy when he is on.
Well, what's tough for the Phillies is that I'm sure the people that are in those Johns over there in Philly, Zach Wheeler throws a gem in game 1, and Aaron Nola pitches really well in game 3, and the Phillies managed to lose both of those games. That's a tough break.
Yeah.
Christopher Sanchez pitched well in game 2. We know that Rob Thompson, and I think Rob Thompson probably made the right decision strategically. I don't know why he keeps going to Matt Strahm when righties are coming up. That's a different story. I saw him walking in with a pretty sick tracksuit today.
Matt Strahm?
Don't say in case Matt Strahm listens or Rob Thompson listens. You don't want to give away secrets.
It doesn't matter.
Rob
not gonna
Thompson
change
did work
anything.
in New York for years.
He did.
Aaron Nola only had 86 pitches tonight, so it's not like he was gassed.
but he loaded the bases.
Of course, yes,
and then he started to labor, and you needed a fresh arm. And they went to Kirkering, and it worked out.
Yeah.
Because he got the first 2. And then there were 2 outs, and Starling Marte came up. And I don't think that you have that as... you don't have the number 1 moment there. So I can mention that now. Marte coming through in that spot with 2 outs. The Phillies did a ton of damage in game 2 to the Mets with 2 outs. Sevy had 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the bases empty with Trey Turner up in the bottom of the 6th inning on Sunday. Turner singled. Then Harper homered. And then things kind of unraveled. It all happened with 2 outs. Stott's triple happened with 1 out. But the Mets in game 3 on Tuesday night, 7 runs scored. 6 of the 7 came with 2 outs. I know that Jose Iglesias also had a big 2-out hit. But for the Phillies to almost get out of that spot, allowing nothing, they're running off that field, and they're screaming, let's get our bats, boys, let's go. And the momentum's shifting. The Mets are in trouble. Tricia said that to me.
You saw that she was right. In game 2, there was a moment where Bryce Harper just Bryce Harper plays a phenomenal first base. There's no way around it. He's what am I gonna? We're gonna lie? You just said Aaron Nola had a great game. I can't just say Bryce Harper plays a really good first base.
I'm just making a face.
Bryce Harper robbed the Mets of a run yet again, and the look he had in his eyes when he did that, I was like, Bryce Harper's about to put this game into his own hands because that fires you up. And it's something I've wanted to talk to a guy like Luis Angel Acuna about because in the minor leagues, you would see a lot. He would make some outstanding play playing center, just some diving catch that would just help, that would just stop a run that the other team was about to go on. And then he would go out and hit a home run in the next inning. So I wanted to ask him, hey, when you do something on one side of the ball, does it affect the other side of the ball? So you're right. You don't get out of that inning. You don't put the gas, you put your foot on the gas in that moment. They're going to come back up and they're going to feel like, we have the momentum. We just stopped a rally.
100%.
So it was great. But
that was a huge hit.
That is not my number one. My number one moment is actually because of you.
You don't have to say that.
My number one moment.
You're going to drop the screenshot?
My number one, I'll drop the screenshot right here. And it's funny because it goes with a few things. I said to Hunter before the game today, I've been watching highlights of the 2015 playoff run, and I need that Yoenis Cespedes home run. I need that total tank shot where he just goes completely off balance and he looks like he's just already walking. He literally swings and is just running, basically. I was like, we need that today. John texts me before the game, and he goes, I think this is going to be a Jesse Winker game.
John knew.
Jesse Winker hits that absolute tank shot to what I like to call Mike Stanton territory.
He almost hit one in his first plate appearance also. I thought that was gone off the bat, and then Castellanos makes the catch, and the controversy, which, by the way, it was the right call. He made the catch. He was on the transfer.
Did he make a baseball move?
It was on the transfer.
Did he make a baseball move?
He did.
He did. He put his hand in his glove to take the ball out to throw it. But you knew that Winker was seeing Nola well, and that was a curveball that he hit that pitch on. And then the home run was on a curveball also. I'm pretty sure. Yes, it was. It was. And when I saw his name in the starting lineup today, Mendy surprised some people by putting Winker in the Game 1 lineup against Milwaukee. He had the numbers against Freddie Peralta. And I thought to myself, he must have some numbers against Nola. I went and looked. 4 for 24 lifetime against Nola, a homer, but nothing stupendous where you're like, he's a must play. But when I saw that Mendy put him in the lineup, because we've come to trust Carlos Mendoza and everything that he does, and virtually every decision he makes works out, or so it seems, I had a feeling that Jesse Winker, the Mets like something that they saw, and I think that it's Jesse Winker's swing path runs into that big knuckle curve that Aaron Nola throws, and lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. He hits an absolute nuke, and once again, an electric moment with him standing at home plate. He did not leave the box until the ball landed, which was absolutely incredible. And once again, I'm sure they hated that in Philadelphia, and we love that in Queens. And that's the kind of guy that all 29 teams hate. We love him.
Did he wave to the Phillies dugout as he was going home, third to home?
I hope not. Did he? I hope not. Did he?
I was going to say, very similar.
I'm wrong. It was a four-seam fastball, by the way, not a curveball.
Very similar to the Cespedes. Just an absolute no-doubter. That team was already winning. Gave him an insurance run. Guy that came over at the trade deadline. Massive personality. Into the homer, into the second deck. That was just, he knew it off the second he got it. They're showing me something that.
I think he waved to the fans.
Okay.
All right, so I got to say one thing about the Cespedes home run. It's a bit of revisionist history. It is.
I don't know what that means.
It means that we are going back in time and kind of blurring what the actual meaning of it was. Everyone talks about that home run.
Oh no, they were up already.
They were up 5-2.
Yeah.
It's the Travis d'Arnaud home run in that game. Don't give me.
I'm not going to sit here and debate 2015 home runs.
Listen. The Mets are up 4-3. Granderson clears the bases, right? They're up 4-3.
I'm not going to sit here and debate 2015 home
d'Arnaud
runs.
hits a 2-run homer to put the team up 6-3. That was the moment where the Mets really got the separation. I'm just saying, no one talks about the d'Arnaud home run.
Yeah, you should have done that episode in 2015 then, John.
Well, I didn't have a microphone in 2015, Vito, but...
You should have thought about that in 2015.
Well, I'm talking about it now because you guys need to... I saw the Twitter clips. We all saw them all day, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the Yoenis Cespedes? I get it. It was a bomb, and I guess it tore the stadium apart. It was the Travis d'Arnaud home run in that game.
But that's
that really... Put the Mets up for good.
All I was saying was I just wanted to see a tank job. That's all I wanted to see. That was my point.
Second deck pull side with an incredible, stare down.
Right, that was it. It was the dismount that
now
did
let's
it for
move
everybody.
on. Let's move on. I do want to mention a few other moments real quick. John, you brought it up before. Jose Iglesias, that double in the 7th to just really keep the runs piling on, because you're a Mets fan. I don't care how good the team is. You're not going to feel good until this team is up like 5-6 runs. It's just how we all feel, okay? And then Tyrone Taylor's throw, the top of the 4th. I didn't even realize till the replay on the board that he barehanded it and then just got up and threw. What a throw. Tyrone Taylor always finds a way to impress me.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we talked to Mendy, and he talked about Tyrone Taylor and what he brings to the club. We know he's a great guy, and we know he's a great ball player. And like you said, he found a way to make a difference today. And if you're Alec Boehm, a guy who's really been struggling, wasn't in the starting lineup in Game 2, gets back in the lineup, puts a ball off the wall finally, and you're thinking, all right, I got myself an extra base hit. And then you're mowed down at second because Tyrone Taylor throws an 87-mile-an-hour seed with a great tag at second base. That's got to be a tough feeling for Alex Boehm. So,
and then Bader robs another hit from you later on in the game.
Well, this is the thing. The Mets, and part of the reason why the Mets are here is because the way they catch the ball. It's a very underrated part of this team. But that play, and then once again, the double play, Iglesias, I mean, look, he was in the right place at the right time. But then the quick flip to Lindor, like the Mets turn batted balls into outs at a rate that exceeds most other major league teams. And that's how you win, especially in October, where, there were some misplays in the World Series that hurt the Mets a little bit. This team, they don't make those mistakes. They are nice and tidy. In April, they weren't like that. We talked to David Stearns back in late May. That was one of the things he talked about what needed to improve was the defense. And it has improved tenfold.
Yeah.
And we saw it once again on display here in Game 3.
Well, we're moving ahead to Game 4. A chance to clinch for the first time in Citi Field history.
I'm making the emoji face though. Like I can't even compute that.
It's from 0-5 to OMG to here we are. Like this season has been magical, and I feel very good about tomorrow because one thing we did today was we limited bullpen usage. You know who's fresh tomorrow?
Reed Garrett, Edwin Diaz,
and David Peterson.
David Peterson. That's an interesting one.
David Peterson is very fresh tomorrow.
That's an interesting one. Another thing the Mets have been doing that I like a lot is, especially today, they were patient tonight. Another 5 walks drawn. They drew 5 walks in Game 1. They drew a lot of walks in Milwaukee, which is kind of funny, right? Milwaukee.
Boo.
Don't do that to your laptop.
That's fine. That thing's a beast. But they've been extremely patient, and they have found ways to beat their opponents in this postseason in different ways. Singling teams to death, going first to third, playing good defense. 4 home runs in Game 2. Unfortunately, they didn't win the game. 2 home runs tonight in Game 3. Timely hitting, 2-strike hitting in Game 1 against the Phillies. 2-out hitting in Game 3 against the Phillies. We've seen lights-out relief work. We've seen great starting pitching. We've seen so many things. We've talked about that all season long, is that any one guy in this lineup can really make a difference, and you don't have a team that's relying on 1 guy, 2 guy, 3 guys. You have a lineup of, just wait till the Francisco Alvarez home run comes, because it's happening.
Oh, it was close today.
Oh, I know. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. JD Martinez, he's going to get hot, and he's going to homer.
And he's had some pretty big hits already.
He does.
He had a hit in Milwaukee that added insurance runs. He had a hit in Game 1 that added insurance runs. He's probably going to be in the lineup tomorrow with a lefty on the mound.
100%.
So
and then because the lefty-righty, they have such a nice dearth of options. When a righty comes in, whether it's a Ryan Kirkering or a Jeff Hoffman or a Jose Ruiz or whoever that Rob Thompson chooses to go to, Carlos Mendoza reaches in the back pocket, bang, wild card on the table. I see your pitching change. I got a matchup for you. The guys come through. The guys want to win for each other.
And you know who we got going tomorrow? Jose Quintana.
Jose Quintana,
who has been on a magical September run, who's important to us because we said it before. Like, one of the big reasons we have this podcast, and just one of my favorite people in the world. And I just can't wait to see Jose Quintana pitch tomorrow. And I got a lot of things I'm hoping and praying for right now. This place is going to be insane tomorrow. I can't wait to see what this ballpark looks like, because I think today it was loud, but I think there was
there were like 44,000 people here today.
There was still tension. There was still tension. Tomorrow, all the pressure is on Philly.
Right. Well, here's what is so big about this game also. Kind of goes without saying, but after Game 2, I know we talked our feelings out, kind of decompressed, had an off day on Monday. But winning this game, the bad taste of what happened in Game 2 completely flushed. It's gone. They once again bounced back like they've done all season. I remember we talked after the Sunday loss, September 15th in Philly. And we were like, yeah, I mean, they got to come home and take care of the Nats and bounce back. And they did. They swept the Nats. Then they took 3 or 4 from the Phillies, and it was all gone. Once again.
And again, those weren't that wasn't a Philly that had already clinched and was doing nothing. That was a Philly that wanted to celebrate in our ballpark.
No, I'm talking about before that. Oh, you're talking about when they took 3 or 4 here.
Because you're saying we lost those games, came back against the Nationals, and then the Phillies came here.
Yeah, no, they were meaningful games.
Exactly.
Right, they had a chance to clinch here.
Yes. But they've just bounced back all season long, and every time there's a bad taste, they're like the ultimate breath mint, right? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I get it.
They're getting the bad taste out of your mouth.
I get it.
It's a little sherbet, a little sorbet.
I don't know. I don't know if mints take bad taste. They fix bad breath, but I don't know if they take bad taste away. I don't.
What
like
does?
You wouldn't eat something bad and then take a breath mint because you're like, oh, I don't like the way that tasted.
You don't think?
I don't know. Hunter? What do you think?
I don't know.
I know when you're going cologne smell or shopping, they give you coffee beans to kind of reset your senses.
I've never.
Okay. They do it at Nordstrom's.
Okay.
I don't know if I could talk about.
I'm
Nordstrom
more of a Bloomies guy.
Okay, you're such a bougie.
Is that bougie?
I don't think Bloomingdale's is any more bougie than Nordstrom's.
No.
Oh yeah, it is.
Are you talking about Nordstrom or Nordstrom Rack? There's one that's bougie, one there's not.
No, I'm talking. Bloomingdale's a little bougie.
All right, wait, rank. Macy's.
Power rank your department store.
I'm a Sears guy.
Wait, Macy's.
Bring back Sears.
Macy's, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, JCPenney. Rank them.
JCPenney.
JCPenney.
I don't know.
I'm not going to
Is there a
trash
fourth
anybody.
one? Is there a fourth department store?
Sears went out of
Saks
sale.
Fifth Ave?
Okay, Saks Fifth Avenue,
think that's the
Bloomingdale's, Macy's, Nordstrom. Go, John.
Well, the July Nordstrom sale is goated forever and
Let's
ever.
go quick. Number 4. What?
Number 4, JCPenney.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. There's
In
no
a bad way.
JCPenney. There's no JCPenney.
It's out.
We're doing.
Give me the options again.
Can we talk about Jose Quintana for tomorrow?
Nordstrom, Saks, Bloomies, Macy's.
Nordstrom's, Macy's. I just have a thing for it. Saks, Bloomingdale's. Done.
Okay, done. That's it.
Done.
I don't know why we did that. We're talking about the playoffs. That's crazy.
I want to shout someone out before I forget. I'm going to forget. Colleen, Jenna's friend, Jenna's roommate from school. She was here today, and she was up in the office after the game, and she was like, wait a minute. I was like, what? She hadn't even said a word to me. I was like, what? She was like, I know you. I was like, okay. And she's like, I listen to the podcast every day. I was like, Colleen. So thank you, Colleen.
That's cool.
Colleen's going to be here tomorrow again.
I met somebody who complimented my shoes and then was like, are you from the podcast? And I was like, yeah, meet at the Apple. He goes, let's go Mets. That's awesome. So fun day. But Jose Quintana tomorrow, really good matchup for us against the Phillies. You want that left on left against this lineup. And like I said, you got a really fresh bullpen tomorrow, and the Phillies don't.
No, Rob Thompson has really kind of exercised. I was kind of surprised to see Carlos Estevez when he brought him in. Game was kind of out of reach. The Phillies gave up a lot to get Carlos Estevez. So
and then how many pitches? He threw like 30, right?
That was an interesting move for sure.
He threw a lot of pitches, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, look.
And Strahm was warming up at one point.
He was. I don't know how hot he got, but you would have to assume that everyone is available for Philadelphia to stay alive.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, Zach Wheeler might be available for Philadelphia tomorrow, for all we know.
That's true.
Boys are going to go home. They're going to come back. You just win a ball game. That's it. I think it's that simple. You try to win a ball game. I think back to 2022 when the Mets came home, had that series against the Padres. Game 1 couldn't have been any more of a disaster than it was.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking about how, like, for us to get the first run on the board in this game,
especially a Pete Alonso homer.
There was like a lot of meaning to that, and all I was thinking, because my wife was here with me tonight, and the last time she came to a playoff game,
and then you guys got a breedable,
and we got a breedable. But the last time she came was Game 3 of the wild card, and like
no, she was there Game 1. I think I met her. She was wearing a blue jersey.
Game 3 she came to. She came to the night they got eliminated. My point was like
bad night.
That series was so different because like it was only Game 2 where we had anything.
Yeah, no one wanted to be in that series.
Yeah.
You know, like. It was a disappointment to be playing that.
This year, the
nights.
wild card was a huge win. That year, the wild card felt like a failure.
It felt like a punishment, exactly. Yeah. But the Mets are also 14-5 all time in the LDS. I mean, that makes sense because they've never lost an LDS series. They've also never lost an LDS game, their first LDS home game of a series. When they came home against the Giants, D-backs, they won Game 3, and then Todd Pratt against Matt Bantai.
Dodgers.
Dodgers in 06 and 15.
Yeah.
And then the Giants in 2000.
So
Ben Ambayani's walk-off home run, which was then followed up by Bobby Jones's one-hitter, which I believe
was today.
Tuesday was the anniversary of. Yeah. So,
well,
yeah.
It's gonna be a nice day.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a good podcast tomorrow.
We're gonna have a good podcast tomorrow. I said to you the other day we're gonna have 2 good podcasts. That's what these home games are about, guys. These boys are hot. These boys are hot. Thank you to Hunter. Mendez is with us today,
Mendez
too.
is back. Playoff Mendez.
Mendez listens to the podcast every day, and he told us that he thinks we do kind of bully Hunter.
It's okay.
You bully him more than me. Facts.
I actually stopped, and you were the mean one today.
Well, the thing is, Vito sits right across from me, so I get a lot of FaceTime with him all day.
Like, we're besties. Like, Hunter loves me.
Unfortunately, I do.
I didn't expect that. All right. You can follow this podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Meet at the Apple. Subscribe. Give us a rating. If you give us a good rating, we'll read your review on the show. Even during these playoff times, we'll still do that because we care. You can follow John on Twitter at JMB9191. You can follow me on Twitter at Vito F. Khaleesi. And one more game, and this team can do something they've never done. Let's make history tomorrow. Let's go Mets.